We're gonna go out and take a little walk in Kailua. I press a button with my fob so that I don't touch someone else's grubby fingers. And same thing here. Press the button with the fob. So I actually have my mask in my pocket in these COVID-19 times, but I will leave it there until I'm like around people. There's a few coming this way. Walking around Kailua. Right now it's 5 p.m. So a lot of the stores should still be open, but a lot of stores are closed. And we're gonna go and see what the town looks like. See how much is closed, how much is open. Whole Foods has been open. It's got some restrictions, but they only are allowing a certain number of people into Whole Foods at a time. So you can actually see a line over there of people going into Whole Foods. These stores over here are all closed. Ramen store is open. Olive oil is closed. This Banhan is open. It's not even a store anymore, I don't think. Still go to California Pizza Kitchen, but only to go orders, which is pretty much all of the restaurants. And if they can do to-go, they've been doing to-go orders or takeout. So here, same deal. Donakai juice, aloha salads, Donakai juice, aloha salads, Subway sandwiches, Mexico Lindo. They all seem to be open. Other stores like Coco's Trading Post, I believe that's closed. I believe that Morning Brew is open, but shorter hours. It says, well, it says open for takeout, but I believe they have shorter hours. Things like Lanakai Bath and Body, it's closed. Sand People, I think, is closed. Sand Kids, closed. Bookends is closed. Time says the same thing, social distancing. Maui Brewing Company is closed. Down to Earth, I'm not sure. I think Down to Earth is open. You can't sit in there now though. So nothing really unusual. Basically, if it's a restaurant, it's open for takeout. That seems to be the thing. Which means all the servers, and I'm friends with a few of them, are out of work, but the restaurants are open. Again, a button. I will use my fob to press it. Starbucks here has got short hours. I know that because of my friend. I don't really go into Starbucks. Jamba Juice, I think Jamba Juice is also open. But a lot of these shops, these little small shops, are not open. I think Teddy's is open. Maui Tacos is open. Here's Target. Obviously Target's a happening place. Whole line of cars waiting to get in there. I pretty much shop for groceries Target or Safeway. Ooh, he peeled out. His penis must be gigantic. I think Mahalo Burger is the best burger in Kailua. I haven't had like an awesome burger on island, but they're pretty good. I'm happy with them. It's a little more expensive. You end up spending a bit more, but it's a good burger. I've had friends who didn't like it, and it was because it had the Hawaiian bun. So it has it's sort of like a sweet roll rather than a normal just sort of white bread. But it's another flavor and it's good. I like it. And I always get the blue cheese one, and some people hate that too. But you know, I want something fancy. I'm a bougie kind of person. I like nice things. All these stores are pretty much closed. And there's one there, blue bubble, it looks open. Again, if it's open, pretty much means it's a restaurant or something with to-go service. So that's pretty much the state of things here in Kailua. So let's go to the beach and see what the beaches look like. I was already at the beach this morning, but let's go check out the beach and see how crowded it is there. Obviously people are out. Some people are wearing face masks and others aren't. I'm not at the moment, but I'm not really around anybody and I'm walking. So it isn't New York City. If you're in New York City and you're running around a bunch of people, then I think. And here's the thing about Kailua. Here's what you really have to know about Kailua. There are these things. There's chickens freaking everywhere. Chickens. Not a big fan of the chickens. Gonna walk past the line for Whole Foods. It's a freaking long line. Got the social distancing going on, and I'm not going to go online. Walking past all these people. Don't know if you can hear me through the mask. I feel like you can't. Anyway, so that's Whole Foods. All those people waiting in line to get in. There are a few kind of protesting sort of people without masks on. Perfect. Take this thing off. So, I mean, as we all know, you shouldn't really touch your face at all. So there is a little bit of like, okay, so I have this thing now and it could be contaminated, and I walked by all those people. Most of them had masks on, so it was probably pretty safe. And it was safe for them because I had my mask on. So there probably wasn't, if there was any virus, wouldn't be in the air that much. And if it was, it would be like falling to the ground. It wouldn't be traveling around. But that is something we have to take into consideration as well. Here in Hawaii, we only have 630 something people who have gotten it. Here we are, magically at the beach. All right, so we're gonna go to the water here. Right now we're in Kailua Park, and Hawaii is actually doing really well with the COVID virus because there's this big ocean between us and the mainland, and we really made it. Hawaii hasn't restricted visitors from coming to Hawaii, but if you do come to Hawaii right now, you need to stay in your hotel room for 14 days or your house or wherever. So obviously people don't want to come here. Plus also a lot of things are closed, as I was showing you. If you want food, you can get food. Hawaii imports a lot of, I think actually most of their food. So we'll see what happens there. There are farms, but it's not like a ton of them. There are cattle and we have beef, but again, not a ton of that either. Some restaurants serve it exclusively, and then the rest import it from the mainland, I think. So here's the beach, and as you can see, there's not like tons of social distancing. Everyone is kind of spaced out, but it's obviously they're here on the beach. The rules are that you're not supposed to hang out on the beach. You should be walking or running or going into the water. If you're in the water, then that's fine. People are kind of stretching the rules. The people here with a blanket, that's not what you're supposed to do. There are cops that drive up and down the beach on ATVs, and they will kick you off the beach if they see you lingering. but apparently they're not here right now. And so here you go, you have the beach. A lot of people enjoying the beach. But I mean, I don't want to be evangelizing anything to anybody about what's the right behavior. But what's going to happen here very soon, in the next few weeks probably, is we're going to release, we're going to allow more tourists to come here. And that's, like I said, the reason tourists aren't here is because of this 14-day period where they have to stay in their room, in their hotel room. But if we release that and we say, okay, people who come here, then they will inevitably bring COVID-19 with them. And I'm afraid that we'll just end up going lockdown again. Hawaii doesn't have rabies. There's no rabies in Hawaii. And that's because they have very strict rules about what animals can come here, and having rabies tested and giving shots to animals before they come here. And I believe that there is a kind of that mentality about this as well here, where it's like, let's just, we don't have rabies here, we can do the same thing with COVID-19. And truthfully, they're not wrong. You know, it's thinking that we can get rid of it altogether and just make it mandatory that anybody who comes here has to be tested first, or maybe tested when they get on the plane, or however you want to do it, right? But if we had if we were able to do testing, then we could keep Hawaii COVID-19 free, or for the most part. But we're not there yet. As everywhere else in the United States, there isn't tons of testing. I think actually we do have, there are testing stations. I have driven past them. I'm not sure what the requirement is to get tested, but they're not testing everybody. So we're not like in panic mode. We were when this got started. It was just locked down and everything was locked down for a few weeks, but we're past that now. By the way, I would be recording on the beach, but it was really windy, so and I'm sure the microphone was picking up wind, so we're not on the beach anymore. On some level, we might have a false sense of security because we do have so few cases, but you know, the cases were climbing. We got up to 600 and some odd people who have caught the virus that we know of. It's probably over that. It's probably 1,500. I'm just guessing, just making a number up, but it's probably double that. For the most part, kind of business as usual. Police will kick you off the beach if you're just hanging around and doing nothing, or if you're sitting on a blanket. Obviously people were doing it. There was a period that all of this was blocked off and they had barriers, and it was just a few weeks, like 2 weeks ago, there was barriers. There were barriers at the entrances, and you couldn't come and park, and you couldn't go into the park at all. The beach was never closed. You could always have runners, and if you wanted to swim, you could always swim and surf. They've never shut that down. This is a stream. It leads to Enchanted Lakes off in that direction. It's always blocked off. You can see here the water just sort of stops, so it's not really a stream. But anytime I call it a creek, everybody goes, what? Huh? So I have to call it a stream. But I think it's a creek. It's not much of a stream. Occasionally they bulldoze this out and let the water flow out. And when they do that, it's pretty gross. All this mucky green brown water goes flowing out into the ocean, and like when I'm paddling out there, I can totally see this barrier of where the water for this green muck is out in the ocean. Probably shouldn't say this, but I have swam in this. When Sherry was here, She was learning how to paddle on her paddleboard, and so I was helping her. And so in order to help her, I was like swimming next to her, and I would help her stabilize on her prone paddleboard. So so I've actually been in the water, didn't die, and honestly, I've been in much worse water than this stream, because this is pretty clean compared to some of the things I jumped in when I was a kid, and that's probably true for a lot of you. Every once in a while, a whale will die out here, and this has happened like 2 or 3 times since I've moved here. So 2 or 3 times in like 5 years, there'd be like some whale that would die out here. Not always the same kind of whale, just something would die. And of course that means sharks. So it's not a good time to be out in the water when that happens. So here I am. I'm on the porch back from the beach. As you saw, the beach, there were people there. And I want to say something interesting about COVID-19 here in Hawaii, but I don't really know that it's all that interesting. And this is the way it's going to be, I think, and people are going to be mad at me, but this is the way it's going to be until we've got a vaccine. There's going to be some level of, you know, everybody in Hawaii wearing masks. Obviously, not everybody was, right? So, but masks inside stores, and I didn't take you inside, but you saw the big line of people for Whole Foods wearing masks. And that's the way it's going to be for a while. Anyway, next videos are going to be about software development, and I can't blame you if you're going to take off and you're going to be like, screw this, I just want to hear about Hawaii. I can't blame you, but I'll be talking about Hawaii eventually again. I live here, so I'm going to be talking about it. It's just the way it is. This vlog is my life, and that's what I think it should be. I'm not going to worry about whether or not I'm talking about Hawaii specifically or not. I'm just talking about what's going on. Anyway, and I will see you guys later.